Cobi Jones, you grew up in Southern California. What's your earliest memory of anything Rose Bowl related?
Oh wow! Anything Rose Bowl related, it would have to be with the parade. I know that's a little bit adjacent, but it's all connected. Um, I remember as a young kid, standing out for the Rose Bowl parade, out here in Pasadena, and then, always seeing the games, the Rose Bowl itself. Between, always hoping that it would be, some incredible matchups.
When's the first time you set foot inside?
The first time I set foot inside the Rose Bowl was actually for a concert, I believe. I believe it was, Depeche Mode. A friend of mine from school was just like, hey, my parents, got some tickets. Do you want to go? So I went with my friends and saw a Depeche Mode concert here. Is that famous one where it was raining out and the lightning hit, right behind them.
Do you have a favorite Depeche Mode song?
Can't say that I have a favorite one, now in this day and age. It's just like, I could barely remember them at this day and age. But yeah, I did enjoy the concert.
Well, what's it like to be here now? What goes through your? I mean, there's so much history here and so much significant history that you made. What?
Yeah, it's every time I walk into this stadium, there's just, you get like a presence and a sense, of the history, that has been here. And I'm speaking from the perspective of the soccer history, be it with the LA Galaxy, having the first game here. I can remember that, like it happened yesterday. When we talk about the World Cup, just the presence of the World Cup here, the history here. I was watching the final. I was sitting in the seats right over there, watching the final, remembering, the kicks, the penalty kicks at the end with Baggio, missing and allowing Brazil to have that, victory. It's a stadium that has such rich history.
You mentioned the World Cup '94. How did playing that here change the face of soccer in your mind?
Well, when I look back at '94 and I just remember that time with the World Cup and actually hearing about where the U.S. was going to be playing, and then just making note of the fact that it was going to be here at the Rose Bowl, that they were going to have games. I couldn't think of a better place. I mean, for me, being an LA kid, this was perfect. The access, all that types of things, and then participating in it, here was something special. I think it changed the landscape, of what this stadium was all about, maybe before, into something even more afterwards, where you really had an idea of what the Rose Bowl was. When you're talking about nationally, it's known around the world, but then to bring in the soccer aspect, bring in the World Cup, the world's most popular sport, and have the final here was absolutely incredible. All eyes around the world, focused on Pasadena, focused on the Rose Bowl. That was something special.
Then in '96, the Galaxy. When you sit there, do you see yourself there scoring the first goal?
I do see myself, on the pitch. Anytime I walk through here, it's not like I think about, oh yeah, this is nice up here. I think I can vividly remember not just scoring the first goal over there and then making the run to the sidelines to all the fans over here, my parents up in the stands, all those various moments through that moment. But I think of all the various games that we had here. I can remember, hitting across over there, the Carlos Ruiz that put us into the playoffs, at one point, later on in my career here at the Rose Bowl. There's so many moments, so many soccer moments that are incredible and stand out for me. Yeah, so it's always on the pitch. I always picture myself on the green. That's it. I love just that vast green space every time I look at it.
Now, that '96 game, there was a question, will the fans show up for this new soccer? So when you're on the pitch and you were looking up, what did you see?
Oh, I saw so much stuff. It was incredible. It's one of the few times. I mean, look, I'll jump back and you said yes. There's questions. How many are we going to have? The week before they were talking. Oh, we might get 5,000-10,000 out there. 4 days out, they said, well, it looks like the sales are pretty good. We might get 10, 15, something like that. And then just right before, they're like looking, oh my gosh, we might get 20,000. This is going to be crazy. We got the tarps and everything, so it's going to look really good for you guys. So they were very concerned that we were happy with that first, that first game as far as the fans coming out. So we were amazed. We're like 20,000. This is going to be incredible. I can remember beforehand, we took like a little team bus, coming down from the hotels in Pasadena where we were staying. And, as a team, you get there hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes a little bit more before. I can't remember exactly. I think it was like 2.5 before. And when we came down into the bowl itself of where the Rose Bowl sits, and you saw the fan base out there, I was just like, this is incredible. It's going to be, I've been in some big games like with World Cup, and I was just like, this is going to be a lot more than 20,000 people, and then to come out, for warm-ups, and when the game, the whistle blew to start the game, it was amazing to see the fans, the passion of the fans, and the want of the fans. You could tell that the fans here really wanted soccer here. They wanted the special moment to be had here, at the Rose Bowl. And one of the things, I'll give you a little extra. One of the things, my playing career, it's rare that I notice the activities that are going on within the stadium, with the fans. But there was a time here during that opening match where I noticed that the activities. It was maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes into the game, and I had run towards the end of the field, and I looked up, and there were all those tarps, but the tarps were kind of like towards the bottom. Fans weren't having that. Fans were at the top. They came, rushed down, tore up all the tarps because more fans just kept coming in, and there wasn't enough room, so they tore the tarps out and just came down to the bottom, so we just had the fans right on top of us during the entirety of the match. It was incredible.
I think the number was closer to 67,000.
67,000, and when the final whistle blew, there were still people on the freeway waiting in line to get into the stadium for the game. That tells you a little bit how unprepared it was at the time with the expectations of 10 to 15, but to have 67 plus, that was amazing.
4 years from now, the Olympics here hosting soccer, what's it going to look like?
I'm hoping along the same lines, where we talk about the Olympics being here, having, all these various teams coming in here, that we're going to have some special moments too, where you have some international stars, are going to be playing here, and that gives the chance once again for, the residents of Pasadena to show out, the residents of LA, to show out, and for the Rose Bowl to show out, to show that this is a historic venue, that has hosted some of the biggest soccer games, if not the biggest soccer game when you talk about a World Cup final. Now the opportunity to host some Olympic soccer games as well. It's going to be great.
How did you, or did you, explain this place to your kids when they were little? And do you remember bringing them, and did they have the magnificent look that a child has when they see something like?
Anytime I bring my kids here, to any type of event, that it's like a mass of people here, and that's not something that a child sees very much. So there is that wide eye, just like, whoa, there's so many people, and sometimes they can't even, kind of comprehend, what that's about. If it's a concert, and there's all the people that are on the grass or down below, or if it's a sporting event, just to see the mass of people around that are supporting it, and cheering and giving their all, really cheering on their teams. My kids, it was wide-eyed wonder, when they looked at those moments.
How did playing soccer shape your character, your work ethic?
Playing soccer, I think, had everything to do to determining how I was going to be or who I am today, be it the work ethic. It truly is a sport that can humble you, at times, especially in those early years if you're trying to find yourself, see what position you're going to be. You're playing against various opponents, trying to master your craft, so to speak, and understanding and figuring out through soccer. I think one of the biggest things I figured out is that it's not about just go all the time. It's about just doing a little bit each day. It's creating consistency. And that's what soccer did for me, where it taught me that I had to go out every day and just do a little bit more. Just try a little bit more than I did the other day. If it's crossing the balls, all that type of stuff, making sure that I gave 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there after practice, not during the practice saying, okay, that's enough, but giving a little bit after the training sessions to do a little bit more. And through that, I kind of realized, just in life, everything's like that. If you just if you're consistent with things, that's where you find the gains. That's where you find that pathway to where you want to be. It's not about just like, okay, I'm going to try today and I'm going to take a week off, or so, and then, okay, I'm going to try this. You don't get anywhere that way. You got to get that consistency of just going a little bit more. And every time that I followed that through my soccer career and really dug in on that, that's where I found the best times of my career.
How important is this place, not just to the fabric of Los Angeles, but to the fabric of sport as a whole, even internationally?
I don't think you can really, I'll try to, but it's difficult to put into words, the importance of the Rose Bowl, just to the fabric of sports and the fabric of the community. When you talk about the history, that it has in so many different sports, you talk about the history within concerts, and you talk about the history, of just that all the various minds and all the various people that have come here and experienced something special and moments at the Rose Bowl. This is iconic. This is part of it all. It's iconic moments that are part of people's memories they will never forget. And that goes beyond just the now where we are, but people are going to think about, oh, that shot that took place in that corner, it was amazing. Where were you? Oh, I was at the Rose Bowl. That catch, in the end zone or something like that. Where were you? Oh, it was at the Rose Bowl. It goes hand in hand, and it lives beyond just the moment that it happened. It lives in the memories of all those people that take it away, and when they tell those stories to everybody else, down the line.
Super Bowl winning quarterback said, you close your eyes, the place will talk to you. I want to ask you to close your eyes and tell me what this place says to you.
This place, closing my eyes for a second, things pop in your head, and it's those special soccer moments for me. It's spending time with as we like to say, our brothers in arms on the field. The walkout before games, walking in, and you hear the cheering of the fans. But more so than anything else, it's the guys in the huddle right before we were about to kick off a game. And you're talking about the battle that you're going to be going through together. That's what it really speaks to me in that moment. The Rose Bowl has a lasting legacy. It has established itself with people and within the sporting community for decades, beyond decades now, and it's important to continue that. When you look around, and I see an iconic venue, I see memories and moments, out on the field, and that's all part of what a legacy is. And if you are part of that, be it as a player, as a fan, you don't let that die. You continue to support, you continue to build. That's what we always talk about in everything in life, right? You're building a legacy. A legacy just doesn't stop. It continues to go as that next generation goes on and on and on. But how do you do that? You continue to support, you continue to build along the way.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Thanks.